You're committing genocide! Come on! You're still rebelling to it! Stop! Let me go!
Today on the Morning Edition, chaos erupts in Fairbanks as a man reportedly attempts to rush HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy and U.S. lawmakers at a press event. The scene caught on camera. We'll hear from the man who was removed from the Chief Andrew Isaac Health Center. Plus,
there's no place I'd rather be than the Red Dawn.
A 100-year-old dive bar faces closure in a small Alaskan fishing village. Details on the fight to save the Red Dog.
and continuing our back-to-school coverage, student athletes are under pressure on and off the field. We'll share some advice for juggling sports and studies without falling behind as the Morning Edition starts now. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us here on a Thursday, inching closer to back to school.
Yeah, it's about to be back to school. Definitely not St. Patrick's Day, though.
Yeah, we don't plan this. We really don't.
We ended up both
we
wearing
just
green today.
are literally wearing like the same shade.
Aaron
You didn't get the memo?
You know, I'm sticking with the Christmas
accent?
theme. Got to go with
Gosh.
It's not easy being green, though, so.
You're right.
Waking up this morning, we do have those rain showers across South Central. Those have been building in through the overnight hours. Of course, most of that rain has been out towards the Kenai, but just within the last about 30 minutes to an hour, we've begun to see that rain building in across the Anchorage Bowl. And that's going to stay with us for at least a good portion of the morning hours. 58 degrees is where we're sitting at to start off the morning. We are largely expecting temperatures today to be significantly cooler than yesterday as we continue to see this rain as well as cloud coverage move back in across South Central. Now into the valley, the Copper River Basin, we are waking up this morning to, for the most part, mostly clear to partly cloudy skies, but those clouds will thicken up through the day and we'll see a chance for some showers spreading north. Now, if you live in the valley and the Copper River Basin, you largely will stay on the dry side, but we will see some passing showers. Most of the rain this morning you can see from Anchorage out towards the Kenai, and those temperatures across South Central sitting in the 40s and the 50s. So there's that rain that has been steadily building northward. It's approaching out towards the Chugiak as well as eventually as you head out towards the Connect River Bridge this morning. So you will begin to see some of that rain spreading into the valley here over the next about 30 minutes to an hour. We have already seen upwards of about 1/10 of an inch of rain as you head out towards coastal areas through the overnight hours. And again, there's that rain that has been pushing in over the last about 30 minutes to an hour for the Anchorage Bowl. And today is going to be a wet one for a good portion of South Central. We've already seen 2/10 of an inch of rain out towards Kenai, 5/100 of an inch in Seward. And you can see here in Anchorage, we've only seen a few hundredths of an inch of rainfall. So as we get outside today, we are going to stick with this rain for a good portion of our Thursday. By this afternoon, we will see some dry conditions into inland locations with the heaviest rain near the coast. I'll have more on that in that 7-day forecast coming up.
In today's top story, tense moments at a press event in Fairbanks. A man taken down by security as HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy stood with Alaska's U.S. senators to talk Alaska Native health care priorities.
Alex Bengal was there as it all went down and even spoke with the man after he was removed.
I want to thank those senators for helping us with this. Again, Chief Ridley, thank you.
You're committing genocide! Come on! You're still rebelling to it! Stop! Let me go! Take him in.
As Patrick Woolery was detained by law enforcement, including the Fairbanks Police Department, after he was taken to the ground, Health and Human Services Secretary Robert Kennedy continued talking to reporters as he stood next to Senators Lisa Murkowski and Dan Sullivan.
It's disappointing. You don't expect that in Alaska. You know, we have our differences, but you don't see, that was kind of a violent action there. And his team did a really good job keeping him safe, but it's not appropriate. That's not who Alaskans are.
A short time after he was detained, Woolery was released. Law enforcement have confirmed his identity and told us they trespassed him from the property, telling him to leave, and that he cannot come back to the Chief Andrew Isaac Health Center for 60 days.
It's not something that I can really bear to just, like, sit around and do nothing about, but that's all you can do. Like, right, we don't have any real power. But those people did, so I decided to go over and yell at them and tell them to stop. They're committing genocide.
He then rode away on a bike. Earlier, a group of around 85 protesters had gathered along the street in front of the health center, speaking against Kennedy's vaccine policies and the Gaza situation, among other issues.
You're committing genocide! Come on! You're still rebelling to it! Stop!
It's unclear at this point if Woolery will face federal charges. Alex Bengal, Alaska's news source.
No arrests were made, but police did tell Woolery he's not allowed to come back to the Chief Andrew Isaac Health Center for 60 days.
27-time Iditarod musher Ramey Smith is lucky to be alive after a plane crash at the Willow Airport Tuesday. According to an Iditarod official, Smith was the pilot and only person on board. He's now recovering from serious injuries. The Iditarod veteran recently helped build this year's arch at the finish line in Nome. Federal investigators are trying to determine if the crash happened during takeoff or landing. The NTSB will look at things like weather and the plane's history to determine what happened.
The airplane came to rest on its nose. Looks like the right wing partially separated, and there's damage to both wings and substantial damage to the fuselage. And it's super early in the investigation. Right now we're documenting the airplane, and of course if anybody witnessed it, we'd love to hear from them.
The NTSB hopes it can learn more from Smith himself after he recovers.
Turning now to Capitol coverage, helping Alaska Natives with federal benefits are the focus of two bills recently signed into law by President Donald Trump. One of the bills, the Alaska Native Settlement Trust Act, works to cut red tape to help Native populations access federal benefits like SNAP, Medicaid, and Medicare. It does this by ensuring that Native corporations' dividends are not counted as income when applying for those benefits.
This change will help protect vulnerable Alaska Native folks who rely on these dividends, especially our elders and folks who are disabled or visually impaired. They don't have from having to choose between essential benefits and longstanding trust support.
The other bill, the Alaska Native Village Municipal Lands Restoration Act of 2025, revises original legislation by removing outdated land transfer requirements, in effect giving 11,500 acres of land back to Alaska Native corporations. That land can be used however the Native tribes see fit.
So it empowers them to make decisions at the local level to support their communities. And they can support their communities by building new housing units, maybe a new tribal hall or a Boys and Girls Club. And I was even thinking like solar farms, or if a community wanted to grow a community garden.
A bill aimed at helping Native tribes in Southeast Alaska form Native corporations has been stuck in committee since January. That legislation is expected to be reintroduced when Congress reconvenes.
Lawmakers say the governor is bringing the Doge approach to Alaska after he issued two new orders this week. The governor says those orders aim to open transparency in government and make it operate more efficiently. The mechanism for those cuts, Governor Dunleavy says, reduce regulations and eliminating waste. What that waste definition is still largely unclear, but in the goals under one of the orders, eradicating DEI spending is listed.
It's obvious to me what the intent is, which is to find efficiencies because we don't have the luxury of spending on programs or projects that aren't absolutely efficient in getting outcomes for Alaskans, for hardworking Alaskans. And so this effort is very similar, I believe, to the effort at the national scale, which is, Doge.
So it looks like a press release that he's putting out to get a little press. He's gotten some bad press recently over the education veto override and the oil tax audit override. And so now he's putting out a press release basically restating what his obligations have been for the last 7 years. And in some ways admitting that he hasn't accomplished those, saying that he hasn't made government as efficient.
In a response, the governor's office did not answer whether or not layoffs would be used in carrying out the administrative orders.
A new report says the Anchorage economy has bright spots, but many business owners have doubts about the future. Uncertainty was the word of the day at the Anchorage Economic Development Corporation's 2025 Economic Summit. Uncertainty mostly about tariffs, inflation, and federal spending cuts. It's said to be a big factor in a poll of 172 Anchorage business owners. When asked about the future of the local economy, only 23% said they believe the Anchorage economy will fare better in 2025, while 66% believe it'll fare worse. The latest research shows job growth has leveled out in Anchorage, and some sectors are doing well, such as transportation and healthcare, but leisure and hospitality is down.
We think that has a lot to do with consumer confidence, and a lot of times when consumer confidence is down, tourism is down. We have seen a decline in the airport, in the air travel coming into Anchorage. Air cargo is an increase. However, passenger travel has decreased. The cruise industry, however, has increased.
The summit's keynote speaker, the CEO of the Federal Reserve Bank of San Francisco, said she believes many federal policies will be sorted out within the next year to bring more certainty. A beloved community gathering spot in Bristol Bay is facing possible closure amid financial struggles.
As Danny Tompkins tells us, people are rallying together to try to save the Red Dog Inn.
The Red Dog Inn, bar, and restaurant is a century-old legacy in the village of Naknek.
What it really is a safe haven of warmth and community, and it's home.
To locals, fishermen, and visitors alike.
There's no place I'd rather be than the Red Dog.
Commercial fisherman Bobby Betts has been fishing Naknek and visiting the Red Dog for around 40 years now.
Well, anytime you get off a boat, hit the shore, you want to go and jump into a bar and sit down and talk to some friends and just talk about the season, how things went.
The owner of the Red Dog, Melissa Davis, faces steep borough taxes after a tough 5 years and liquor license renewal issues.
Stuck there for, over a year and a half, almost 2 years. A couple winters hit, all the pipes froze up and had to repair all of that, but never gave up.
She had actually closed the doors for the night because she just couldn't handle running the business at the time. I was sitting there thinking, what can I do,
Knowing how important the Red Dog is to the community, Betts started a GoFundMe fundraiser without Davis knowing.
I know she would never ask for help. She would never ask for a GoFundMe, nothing like that. She would fight it to the end by herself, but I'm not letting that happen.
With only 3 other bars in Naknek, the community has already band together in hopes to save the Red Dog.
I specifically know the people that have donated are friends of mine that I know very well that are fishermen and the hardworking members of this community. And it's really overwhelming. I'm very grateful. And that's just a testament to how much they love the place, too.
Davis and Betts have until late September to raise the funds to save the Red Dog Inn, a community spot that always has a place for visitors and residents alike. Danny Tompkins, Alaska's news source.
Coming up, some use water, others use vinegar, but we all know fresh produce often comes with dirt and pesticides.
But what is the correct way to ensure your food is washed properly? The science behind safer snacking next.
Rain building back in across South Central. We will see some dry time for inland locations through the afternoon, but the first part of the day will be wet. I'll have more on that, but first a sunrise, 5:48 in Anchorage, 5:03 in Juneau. Your full forecast is next.
And good morning, everyone. Oh, look, we are back with a bear in the bear cam. He's just hunting and searching.
Nice and early, looking for that fish, Aaron. I wonder if we'll find one.
Well, hopefully so. And if you are heading out and about this morning, grabbing a cup of coffee, you will encounter some of those rain showers across South Central. That continues to build in through the overnight hours. The first part of the morning will be our wettest stretch of weather for inland locations. Coastal areas will keep that rain around for a good portion of the day, particularly through Prince William Sound, where we could see 1 to 2 inches of that rain accumulation. So that's what we can expect to see for the first part of the day. There is that area of low pressure. This is the remnants of what was Typhoon Krolsa, which did merge with that Bering Sea low, and that is leading to additional rain that is pushing across not only South Central, but as you head out towards areas of southwest Alaska, this rain from Bristol Bay is shifting to kind of the west, northwest, and impacting areas of the Kuskokwim Delta coastline this morning. But of course, the heaviest activity continues to fixate on the Gulf Coast region through Prince William Sound. But we are going to keep this rain around for today. And of course, later this afternoon, we will see some dry conditions for inland areas with just a passing shower. It's the first part of this morning, which is going to favor some of that light to moderate rain showers for Anchorage and surrounding locations. And you can see that rain again as we welcome in the coming days, how it's really gripping coastal areas. And then by Friday, we'll see even heavier activity that's going to build into areas of southeast Alaska out towards Prince William Sound. And then as you head through Wrangell, St. Elias, we've also got more rain to be expected out west as well as into the interior by week's end on into the weekend. So we are seeing a shift towards wetter conditions, which is typical for August as we begin to see our wet season making an approach towards a good portion of the state. But you can see by Saturday morning, outside of some lingering spot showers, inland areas of South Central will see some drier conditions. But the overall trend continues to favor wet weather into next week as well. So looking at the state as a whole, we've still got some ongoing showers through the Brooks Range. Notice through the rest of this week on into the first part of the weekend how most of the state will begin to see some rain in the forecast. Just some light activity along the slope out west. You can see into the interior. We could see the potential for up to a ½ inch of rainfall, but of course Prince William Sound out towards southeast. This is where we're going to see some of the heaviest activity here over the next couple of days. That heavy rainfall for southeast arrives into your Friday. Now, locally here in South Central, you can see out towards Prince William Sound, coastal areas of the Kenai. This is where we're going to easily see up to, if not more than an inch of rainfall, while inland locations will make an approach near a quarter, if not slightly higher amounts of that rain accumulation. And again, we will see some drier conditions later this afternoon. So wet and cooler weather to be expected today across South Central. Those temperatures warming into the low to mid 60s. We'll see some breezy conditions with winds gusting upwards of about 20 to 40 miles per hour. So it will be quite breezy across South Central today. Faring a lot drier through the valley, but you will see some chance for some rain showers building in throughout the day with those lower 60s. Here in Anchorage, we'll see a high of 64 degrees. Those winds gusting up to 20 miles per hour. And then as we welcome in Friday, early AM showers, we'll see some dry conditions. More rain builds in for the weekend. But for the foreseeable future, we stay in the mid 60s across South Central.
Not bad. All right. Thanks, Aaron.
Well, washing fruits and vegetables is a healthy habit. Many of us learned it from our parents, but there is some science to keep in mind.
So how should we clean produce? Jeff Wagner learned the ropes from a food safety expert.
From farmland to store shelf and soon your kitchen, produce is a healthy choice that sometimes needs a healthy rinse.
If it's blueberries, I put them in a little strainer and run water over them.
Maybe for things like potatoes, I'll wash them and wash the skin with a brush.
What are you hoping to clean off?
Any pesticides. That's my main concern.
Amy Johnston is a food safety expert with the University of Minnesota Extension.
So we want to wash to remove any dirt and help remove any kind of residual pesticides and remove some bacteria.
Many pesticides farmers use are water soluble, meaning a simple rinse can remove them from fruits and veggies. How should we clean our produce?
Yeah, it depends on the type of produce.
For food with thin skin like peppers, cool running water and some rubbing with your hands is all you need. For firm foods with thick skin like carrots, Johnston says to add a scrub brush. Salad spinners like this one are great for leafy greens, berries, and herbs. Can you use soap?
Don't use dish soap.
Dish soaps and chemicals shouldn't be consumed, nor do they make a difference in how clean produce can get. What common mistakes do people make when they're cleaning produce?
Yep. First one is not starting with a clean and sanitized kitchen sink.
Your sink, workspace, and of course your hands must be clean before handling produce. Using a kitchen towel for drying is another mistake. Instead, use a paper towel, salad spinner, or just air dry. Lastly, hot water is good for your hands, but not for produce, since it can cause thin-skinned foods to absorb what's on the surface. Always rinse cold.
There are products marketed for cleaning fruits and veggies, but experts say there's not much research that shows that those household solutions are more effective than just using water.
I soak a lot of mine in baking soda and
see, that's a good idea.
Right,
I just honestly do a quick rinse under the water and that's about it.
We're still here.
Yeah.
You've been listening to the Alaska's News Source podcast. Subscribe to have the latest episodes delivered to your library automatically.